Hello and welcome to the news at NTA International. I am Olajide Bello and my sign language interpreter is John Bamidele. First, the headlines. FG flags off market money scheme to recapitalize informal sector and stimulate economic growth. Nigeria, UN and World Bank signed pact for land restoration. South Korean president on state visit to the United Kingdom to deepen diplomatic ties. In line with its pledge to stimulate the economy through strategic recapitalization of the informal sector, the federal government has flagged off the targeted expansion of the market money scheme. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who performed the flag-off, says democratization of resources is key towards promoting financial inclusion. State House correspondent NTAi reports that 1.5 million Nigerians are expected to benefit from the scheme.
This ceremony signals the beginning of market money, another phase of empowerment by the federal government under the Government Enterprise Empowerment Scheme, GEEP. Rejigged for better delivery, the scheme, also known as Targeted Expansion of Market Money, takes its roots from trader money established in May 2016. Under the program, beneficiaries drawn from 109 markets across the senatorial districts in Nigeria will get a non-interest, no collateral loan of 50,000 naira each for the purpose of business recapitalization. While flagging off the scheme, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says small and medium-scale enterprises form the bedrock of national economy, and the current move by the federal government through the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry is an acknowledgement of its transformative impact.
Such financial support enhances the overall sustainability of micro, small and medium enterprises. Small businesses often face cash flow challenges, and the absence of exorbitant interest rates ensures that entrepreneurs can invest profit back into their businesses, fostering growth and resilience.
To realize the intended goals of the scheme, she says beneficiaries must play their own part.
You should plan wisely, exercise financial discipline in managing the funds, invest strategically, be committed to repay agreements.
Minister, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, who notes that the president is in a hurry to get more Nigerians out of poverty, says market money comes with opportunity for many honest and hardworking Nigerians to get out of the poverty bracket.
They will be registered in the market, BVN created in the market, their accounts opened in the market, there are cards given to them in the market. We don't want them leaving the market and their small stores to go to another location.
Even as they take delivery of their checks, ownership of the scheme, which is translated in 3 major Nigerian languages, is key. Taking 50 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 42 months is the mandate of the President for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. With the formal launch of the targeted expansion of the market money, it is sure that the ministry is well on its way, while for beneficiaries, they now have a new beacon of hope. From the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, NTAi, NTA News.
Until the National Assembly, remittance of revenues collected to Central Bank of Nigeria for pecuniary gains, and National Assembly correspondent Mutari report that the Public Accounts Committee has been given 4 weeks to conclude the investigation for further legislative action. Following a jointly sponsored motion by Representatives Jeremiah Umaru and Jafar Gambo, the House notes that the rate of revenue shortfall is worrisome despite the introduction of remitter systems. The Green Chamber also resolved to investigate some of deposit money banks that allegedly delay onward remittance of revenues collected to the Central Bank of Nigeria for pecuniary gains.
There's 1.7 trillion naira had been processed through the platform before the deployment of the software. The Nigerian government had over 15,000 bank accounts operated by ministries, departments, and agencies. The proliferation of accounts has moved from deposit money banks to Central Bank of Nigeria, allowing MDs to create multiple sub-accounts, thereby negating the TSA policy of the federal government. Also aware that 1% of the fund collected is charged as commission for making use of the platform and share among system specs, deposit money banks, and Central Bank of Nigeria in the ratio of 50, 40, and 10, respectively. This is alarming and unacceptable.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. So this motion is referred to the Committee on Public Accounts.
And moving to the red chambers, in line with the belief that NNPCL is critical to energy security, the Senate Committee on Downstream Petroleum Sector is working out modalities for the full functioning of the sectors guided by the Petroleum Industry Act. To this end, the committee invited the Group Managing Director of the company, Kyari, for investigative hearing. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Gunjide tells us more.
The creation of the National Assembly through the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. The NNPCL is the largest single asset oil company in the whole of Africa with over 1,900 pipe-borne kilometers of gas connected to the downstream. The committee is principally interested in the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, surveillance security contracts of pipeline contracts, issues bordering on vandalism, a required mechanism to salvage the situation, amongst other salient matters in the sector.
We also want to ask some of the surfacing queues in the filling stations that has just emerged. We also want to have to know the consumption of PMS in the past 24 months. That is national consumption of PMS. We also want to have and fix a date for on-the-spot assessment of the refineries and the depots. The daily crude allocation to local refineries, how it's been distributed. State the deductions and suppliers of school swap in the last 24 months.
The Group CEO of NNPCL, Kyari, explained that the company currently has a design of existing over 5,000 kilometers pipelines network across the country, which are not functioning due to sustained vandalism being experienced in the past 15 years.
And before the regulation that is substantially changing the total landscape of our business is that we are doing up to 67 million liters of PMS. Today, the average that we have since the regulation is about 45 million liters of daily evaporation, not even consumption. And this is substantial. This is almost 33% reduction in the volumes that we take into the market.
4 refineries in 3 locations with combined capacity of 445,000 barrels per day, according to him, will be augmented as rehabilitation works are ongoing on the existing refineries. From the National Assembly, Joshua Okochide, NTA News.
And away from the legislature, Nigeria, United Nations and the World Bank have signed a memorandum of understanding for the restoration of 350,000 hectares of land for agricultural purposes. Mr. Baba Leo reports that 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT are to benefit from the restoration program.
Desert encroachment and soil degradation have over the years impacted negatively on the agricultural activities in northern Nigeria. Investigations by environmentalists indicate that some rural communities in the region were forced to migrate as a result of environmental challenges.
I come from Zaria. There are 2 rivers that were quite flourishing at the time I was a young man. They have all disappeared. So I don't know what we are going to do about it.
To this end, The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the government of Nigeria have agreed to build a community climate resistance project.
The objective of ACRESA is to increase the implementation of sustainable landscape management practice in water in the northern Nigeria and strengthen Nigeria long-term enable environment for integrated climate resilient landscape management.
Minister of Environment Balarabe Abbas Lawa signed the document for Nigeria, while the country representative of the FAO signed for the United Nations agency.
This engagement will depend on our collective efforts, perseverance, and ability to adapt to the evolving circumstances. Therefore, let us foster a spirit of collaboration, innovation, and inclusivity as we work towards a common goal of a restored, a resilient landscape in the 19 ACRESA states that are the 19 states of the northern region that are part of the ACRESA state and the FCT also.
The project will be executed under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Environment and that of Agriculture and Food Security. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Away from agriculture now to the judiciary. The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory sitting in Maitama has granted bail to the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Judiciary correspondent Olabode Arewa reports that Emefiele was granted bail to the tune of 300 million naira and 2 sureties to enable him properly prepare for his trial.
The former Central Bank governor was granted bail by Justice Adeniyi of another FCTI court on November 8, but he was rearrested and remanded on the orders of the FCTI court Maitama, presided over by Justice Hamza Muazu. Emefiele, one Saada to Ramalan Yaro, and a certain company named April 1616 Investment Company Limited had been facing 20 counts of alleged corrupt enrichment to the tune of 6.5 billion naira. But Emefiele was rearranged on an amended 6-count charge of 1.6 billion naira. Presumed innocent until proven guilty, his lawyers prayed for his bail pending conclusion of trial. But the prosecution, in opposing the bail bid, argued that the defendant's arrest is a national security matter, thus it will not be expedient to grant him bail. The court, in exercising its discretion, said it could not see the national security implication in granting Emefiele bail and ordered him to produce 2 sureties who will deposit C of O to their landed properties located in Maitama with the courts.
The charges before the court are bailable, and other reasons were given. So the courts decided to exercise its discretion by granting him bail. How does what happen?
My lord equally said that the defendant should deposit all his traveling documents. The court made an order that the defendant must not travel outside the jurisdiction of the court. And as I said earlier on, that what is paramount to us is the defendant presenting himself to stand trial.
Meanwhile, a substantive trial is slated to resume on November 28 in Abuja. Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
On to political party matters, a New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) says it is disturbed by the alleged contradiction discovered in the judgment of the Court of Appeal which sacked the governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf. Addressing a World Press Conference in Abuja, National Working Committee of the party appeals to the National Judicial Council and other relevant bodies to investigate the matter. David Irie reports.
It was Friday, 17th of November 2023, when the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja sacked Abba Kabir Yusuf as governor of Kano State. The court heard in the judgment that the governor was not yet a member of the NNPP at the time he contested and was elected governor on the platform of the party. Having secured the certified true copy of the judgment to file appeal at the Supreme Court, the party said it discovered that the judgment signed by the court was in favor of the party and the governor. On page 67 of the judgment, the court upheld the victory of the governor and awarded cost of 1 million naira against the APC in favor of the governor. This certified true copy contradicts the one read in the court which nullified the election, Hence, the party is calling for investigation.
For emphasis, this is not just a mistake that can merely be corrected by the Court of Appeal, as it does not fall within the ambit of the slip rule, where a court can recall the document and correct an error. Such errors must be so obvious that their correction cannot generate any controversy regarding the judgment or decision of the court. By the same token, such errors must be of such nature that their correction will not change the substance of the judgment or alter the clear intention of the court. It is clear to us that the only conclusion that can be drawn from this judicial debacle is that the average reasonable person can only conclude that the Court of Appeal changed the judgment after they had concluded deliberations on the matter.
The party is also presenting the membership register, insisting that the governor was duly registered in his ward on the 27th of March 2022. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break. More news in a moment. Thanks for being there. Director General of the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps, Dr. Yusuf Buba Yakub, says the agency is reinventing itself to adopt the technology to meet its mandate. He spoke at an ICT training program for staff of the agency in Abuja. Kevin Eonwai reports that it was a 3-month intense workshop of the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps designed to prepare the participants for future life endeavor skills they can deploy to enhance the agency's activities and also to improve their personal career development.
We will also train our corpers not only in ICT but in other areas that will help you, because you are our children and we want you to become very useful ambassadors of Nigeria wherever you are. So we want to impart more in your life so that you will be useful to yourselves and also be useful to your country.
Certificate of participation were presented to graduates of the training program by the Director General of the agency, which also included core members and staff of both the media and ICT units of the agency. Effective from 2024 Batch A service year, it will no longer be business as usual for fraudulent foreign core institutions, as collection of a master list of graduates will now be extended to schools in Niger Republic, Cameroon, Ghana and Uganda, which constitute about 20% of graduates from the African continent. Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Yashau Ahmed, who supervised during the third meeting of management with registrars of foreign core producing institutions in Abuja, said since the introduction of the use of master's list for all graduates from neighboring countries of Benin and Togo in 2022, more than 40% of people who turned up for the verification exercise don't find their names on the list. Olayin Kauju reports.
So the challenges have been that our students are bad because of one thing or the other.
For some time now, the National Youth Service Corps has been faced with the challenges of mobilization of unqualified Nigerian graduates by some foreign core-producing institutions in Africa. Through issues around diplomatic bottlenecks, menace of fake degree certificates, sale of degree and commercialization of travel documents, abuse of provision of the ECOWAS Protocol on free movement, and poor quality of paper used in printing degree certificates and transcripts. With all of these challenges faced by the scheme, it will no longer be business as usual, as it is time to review the level of implementation of resolutions reached at the 2021 meeting with registrars of foreign core-producing institutions. Ready like never before, the fight against this unwholesome practice. The scheme says they are working on a new template which would include more collaboration to address the challenges.
Those whose names are missing on the master list of the school will be considered as fake graduates. Similarly, with effect from the 2024 Batch A service year, inclusion of names of people who graduated years ago will no longer be accepted in new submissions.
for the registrars of the foreign institutions. It is a welcome development.
We have been looking for a way out for this kind of thing, and I think we're really getting there.
The theme of the meeting is tackling the emerging challenges in mobilization of foreign-trained Nigerian graduates for effective national service. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Demboza, has been described as an icon of Greater Africa and nation building following his exceptional leadership qualities. Chairperson Zero Tolerance for Social Immoralities Initiative, Ambassador Razak Jeje, disclosed this while on an advocacy visit and presentation of Certificate of Credence on the DG. Deborah Balagbobo has details.
Zero Tolerance for Social Immorality Initiative Africa, a Pan-African organization with a mission to promote a new generation ideology that aligns with the framework of the 21st century, says their visit was to acknowledge the unwavering passion and commitment to community development and explore potential areas of partnership.
Our mission is to cultivate a sense of hope, self-confidence, imagination, creativity, and pride in African heritage among our youth. We strive to nurture discipline, focus, and law-abiding individuals who possess an entrepreneurial spirit. Furthermore, we aim to instill in them a deep commitment to the ideal of unity.
Commending the ZC ambassadors for their various initiatives in nurturing disciplined, focused, and law-abiding individuals of the society, the Director General promised to work with them to combat various social vices.
And we are capable of partnering with you to do most of these things that you have talked about, because it is said that information is power. And if the two organizations collaborate in some of these laudable programs, I think so much will be able to be achieved. So I want to assure you on behalf of the management and of course the staff of the authority that having gone the CAV and all the activities that you have so far embarked upon, I think we are going to give you all the necessary support that you require in order to achieve these objectives and the goals that you have set out.
Highlight of the visit was the presentation of Certificate of Credence and an emblem of excellence to the Director General of NTA. Deborah Balagbobo, NTA News.
Head of an European Union electoral mission to DR Congo has announced the deployment of 42 initial observers to the country ahead of next month's poll. Malin Jock, a Swedish member of European Parliament heading the mission, told reporters in Kinshasa that 42 observers had arrived on November 17 and will soon be deployed in 17 out of 26 provinces of the Central African nation. She also called for freedom of expression and assembly to be respected and all violence or words of hatred to be rejected. The Democratic Republic of Congo is scheduled to hold parliamentary and presidential elections on December 20, with President Felix Tshisekedi running for a second term in office. The long-term EU observers will be joined by 12 observers who will stay for a shorter period. Head of the mission says on the day of the vote, the EU electoral mission will also have between 80 and 100 people deployed across the country. Our South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol gets down to business on the second day of his state visit to Britain, meeting political leaders and signing a new diplomatic accord. Mustafa Liu has details.
The South Korean president, who is in the United Kingdom, is also to hold talks with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, as well as speak to opposition leader Keir Starmer, who is tipped to become Britain's next leader at an election expected in 2024.
양국의 수교 140주년이 되는 해입니다.
President Yoon addressed a business forum attended by chief executive officers and other representatives from both countries. Will kickstart talks on a beefed-up UK-South Korea free trade deal.
Today, we celebrate an exciting new chapter as we launch negotiations on a new upgraded trade deal.
While meeting Sunak, he will formally agree to a new pact the Downing Street Accord, set to deepen cooperation on technology, defense and security, and redefine the relationship, according to the UK government. The South Korean leader has said the visit is a springboard for greater cooperation with his country aimed at expanding business opportunities and high-tech industry supply chain, as well as strengthening diplomatic and defense ties. Addressing British lawmakers in the Parliament on Tuesday, the first day of his 3-day visit, he said their bilateral relations would be reborn as true global strategic partners. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
And before we go, we'll check on Thursday's weather prospect. That is the news. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.